Oh, good morning, everyone. Hmm. Yeah, so we're talking about the holding environment for a little bit longer here, a couple more weeks before we move on and to another topic. And something came up on Friday during the silent sit. And we got a message. Somebody was had some irritation about the sound of the frogs here in the background here in Hawaii. And it occurred to us that this would be a good opportunity to speak to that, to speak to that issue from the Buddhist point of view. And I know this is one of the Buddha's great discoveries, and his additions to the contemplative world. At that time, concentration was a very big deal, and the Buddha uh, went to great levels to deepen his concentration and to find deep inner peace. And he thought that that was the way to freedom. You know? But then when he realized at a certain point you come out of concentration and other things start to arise in the mind, and that state of concentration didn't seem to carry over. So he would come out of meditation and then start to get irritated. Thoughts arose that he didn't like, stuff was going on outside, sounds arose that he didn't like. There were a lot of things that started to arise. Irritation started to arise. And it occurred to him that there was something else required. There was something else required. Yeah, must be another move that was involved in freedom. And one of his great contributions was to see that it was possible to learn, to train the mind to be less reactive to things that that the mind was used to being reactive to. And that was the real pivotal moment in mindfulness practice. We hear a lot about some of the general benefits of mindfulness is less reactive, being less reactive. Well, what exactly does that mean? Less reactive to what? What it really means is beginning to be less reactive to, to the aversion that arises in the mind in response to something that's happening, either in the mind, either inside or outside. The aversion itself. We hear about these things. The main issues with dukkha, contributors to dukkha, are grasping, two big things, grasping and aversion. Grasping and aversion. Okay. But then they arise, and it's sometimes we forget to see this is aversion. This is the very thing that we can work with, that we can begin to train around, to be less reactive to this very thing that's happening, to this very thing that's happening. Susan and I, until recently, in Boston, in next door, very next door neighbors, um, they started a dog sitting service, yeah, next door. It's lovely, right? Lovely neighborhood business. Yeah. At first there were 3 dogs, 4 dogs, 5 dogs, 10 dogs, 20 dogs, 25 dogs. Yeah. 30 dogs starting to bark at 6 in the morning and going continuously until 11 at night. Oh my God, this is hell. What am I doing? What's going on? This is disturbing my meditation. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Of course, being this, and of course, we had to smile more than once about this opportunity to practice because it ain't going away. It's not going away. The question is can our aversion go away? Because ultimately, and this is the key point from a Buddhist point of view, and it takes a while for us to really get this. I'm not unhappy because of the sound of the dogs. I'm unhappy because of my aversion, the aversion that is arising in my own mind to the sound of the dogs. And it is possible to change that. it is possible to change that relationship to that sound so that I'm no longer suffering because the sound is not going to go away. And so often we are oriented toward, I know what happiness is. Happiness is when all of the things that I don't like don't show up anymore, like my own thoughts. Well, similarly in Buddhism, at a certain point, it's like, guess what? It's not the thoughts. The thoughts aren't going to go away in the way that we would like them to go away. But I can begin to have a different relationship to the thoughts that I have not liked my whole life. The freedom in this practice is not things going away. It's making a different relationship to the things I always wished and hoped would go away. Now, I used to be a manager at the Insight at IMS a long time ago. I don't know how many of you know that. In 1981, I was the manager over at the retreat center at IMS. And there would be notes every day on the board, not every day, but during the 3-month course, with yogis saying, there's these little squeaks in the floor as people are walking into the hall, and it's disturbing my meditation. Could somebody, go through with nails, and nail down so that there's no more squeaks in the floor, because then my meditation would finally be peaceful. My teachers would have to give a talk on this about, no, it's not that. It's about learning to not react to the squeaks. Even to start to hear the squeaks is lovely, as just part of, part of what's going on. And then some of us, I was not one of them, would go to Burma and say in Burma, then that's it. That's what it is. That's where the real practice happening. It's going to be super quiet over there. And they would get over there and it was a construction site. And people were talking all the time, right outside the meditation hall. There was not even an emphasis on silence in the same way that there is in the West, in Western meditation centers. No, none of that at all. It was, and they had to realize, oh, I get it. It's not getting rid of that thing. It's not getting rid of the thing. It's learning from a holding space to be in accord with the thing. That's the direction of the kind of freedom that the Buddha talked about. So when we say in guided meditation, for example, you've heard us say this many times, softening and what? Welcoming. Welcoming. It means also welcoming the thing that you think should be going away, that I want it to go away. No, it means going from this move to this move, to this move. Oh, there's room for that. As the holding environment gets stronger, the idea is now to go out and be able to hold things, not go out and get rid of more things. Yeah. There is something that we want to change, but it's our aversion. And so in that regard, in that respect, the things that at a certain point, to begin to see this, the things that irritate us aren't about the things. They're about the mind's relationship to the thing. And that can be changed. That is what can be changed. I promise you that can be changed to the degree that I am happier or more free than I used to be. It's not because more things have gone away that I don't like, that I didn't used to like. It's because I've welcomed them more. And welcome them, it means more, not just a cognitive, oh yeah, I like you now. No, it means the response in the body, the aversive response in the body, that it's a clenching, it's a tightening. It's, oh, that feeling is the thing that begins to soften. So there's a more softened relationship. Yeah. So we have this opportunity here. We have it every day, of course, but we tend to like the sound of the frogs. We find them lovely. I said to Susan, it's as if the frogs are saying, present moment, only moment. They're like mindfulness bells. right here, right now, wherever your mind is wandering to, come back right here, right now. Yeah. So however it is for you, play with that. Please play with that frame. One way or another, the direction of this practice is being more okay with more and more of what is arising in our own mind and body. It's making more room for it. You see, at first I thought, no, I need to get rid of all this stuff in my mind and body. Then I'll be happy. You know? And then it's like, oh my goodness, is it really true? I just have to make more room for all of this being human? You know? I have to soften around more of this? Yeah, that's actually the deeper direction of these practices. Yeah, yeah. It's not that something else there is driving me crazy. It's my aversion. My aversion is making me crazy. That's a hard one because it asks us to take responsibility, but that's also where the place of change can happen. Oh, I actually can listen to that differently. I can actually hear it differently. I can receive it differently. What a relief. Now, a moment later, we'll forget and get irritated again, right? Because that pattern of irritation has a long history in us. We all get irritated, right? As soon as we begin to see that all of those are opportunities to practice. Those are the opportunities to practice softening and welcoming and smiling. Yeah, yeah.